Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
Kid Copious, back in the Blomberger. Purple State Party, man. Oh, oftentimes I kind of am just the opposite of how I'm feeling, because I feel alive right now. It's probably just all the edibles. But it's been tough, man. Back when I used to live up in San Francisco, I left super early in the morning on that Thanksgiving day. I drove all the way down here early morning, man. Fog so dark you couldn't even see in front of you, man. Just following lights, hoping they didn't drive off the road. I came down here. I did my Thanksgiving thing. Unfortunately, I think it's been my drinking days. So I probably ended up making a mess of it. And then, quite irresponsibly, of course, I drove back because I had to work the next day. Over 10 hours. I think it was something like 11 hours. Now my parents live about 2 minutes away, and I don't even get to see them. Don't even get to partake in our traditional, pasta making that we do. Had to miss the whole damn thing, because like I always said about this COVID thing, if you got reasons to be afraid, then you should be afraid and you should take precautions. And my parents are older, I'm old myself, so but anyhow, I'm sure I'm not the only person out there, but it just 2020 has really sucked, man. It has really sucked. And we only, the thing that really irritates me is we can't really blame anybody. People who blame the president, blame this person, blame that person. It's all on the Chinese, man. And I don't understand why there's all this talk of allowing them into different markets and giving them back, whatever. I just don't get it. I mean, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to the world in terms of, a non-war. And, I don't know. I just don't know why we're forgiving them. But there's other people that we shouldn't forgive. And for me, that's the state of California. These jackholes, man, look at this shit. Scott Peterson, if you don't know, he had a wife, Lacey. And I believe she was pregnant when he murdered her. Don't remember, it's been a lot of years, man. But, he's getting EDD, unemployment, in jail. These prisoners are able to get money. I don't understand how we have these loopholes. It seems at every corner, at every turn, there's a gosh darn loophole that people are exploiting, and the government just doesn't seem to do anything about it. There's people out there who, because they didn't have the right papers, or they didn't put their middle initial on their social security, that matched their social security, they didn't put their middle initial or whatever, they were denied. Their shit got hung up, man, working through all this bureaucracy and bullshit. Meanwhile, prisoners, a guy who murdered his wife, man, other murderers too, not just him, lots of them, several $100 million, and this is the same bureaucracy that puts our social security number on all kinds of documents and just mails it out, knowing that mail theft is very real. They just expose us. It's ridiculous. And some people, I think it was the Sacramento Bee, called this the worst scandal of ever in California history. And one commenter said it's not even the worst this year. And they're right, because apparently somewhere out here in LA County, $2.8 billion went missing from low-income housing. This is just scandalous, man. And the way they use this disease to control us makes me feel like they're putting everything on lockdown so they can get in there and like scrub clean all of their dirty shit. But Newsom, man, I won't be surprised if he appoints himself senator just to get out of here, because this state is getting close to lynching this guy. Right here you can see it. Nope, they take to the streets. I mean, okay, I get that, the problem is that, we're getting this mishmash of information. We're getting it from the sources that we no longer trust. Our government is just going back on its own word. They're not even following their own instructions. I mean, Newsom was at a party with lobbyists, for God's sakes, and we're supposed to listen to them. And none of this seems to work because we've already been through this and it didn't work. The disease is still here. It's still fucking up people's Thanksgiving. It's fucking ridiculous. In football right now, the Denver Broncos don't have a quarterback because all of their quarterbacks are under COVID. One of my starting players has just been put on the COVID list. I mean, it's just, nothing seems to be working. And how we just, like I always say, had we just gotten off the landing craft, hit the beach, and ran at the machine gun bullets, maybe results would be bad. I don't know how they'd be any worse than what we've already lost, about over a quarter million people. But again, out of 300 million people, it's still a low number. But we have destroyed lives, man. The mental toll is, I believe, going to exceed the actual death toll. That's my opinion. I think millions of people at this point are going to be affected. And it's a damn shame. And then you have this lady, this fucking crazy ass fucking Kate Brown, dude. The governor of Oregon there. Holy shit. She's allowing Antifa to just bust open buildings and lock cops in a precinct building and try to set it on fire. But she wants to bust you for having a large Thanksgiving dinner. Man, I hope people see this, man, because you've got to see this for what it is. All of the problems you have with the other side is trumped by this. I did not mean to say Trump right there. But, they are siding with the criminals, the anarchists, the looters, and in some cases killers, illegal aliens, corrupt politicians. They're covering for all of these people. But then they go after the law-abiding citizens with the gun laws. Only apply to law-abiding citizens. Curfews, the right to assemble. That doesn't go to the average citizen. No, they shut that shit down. They shut down worship. They shut down Thanksgiving dinner. They're going to shut down Christmas. Trust me. Unless that vaccine actually gets here before Christmas, they're going to shut Christmas down. They're going to go through this whole same shit. But if you want to burn a building down, if you want to try to kill cops, if you want to scam the system, if you want to enter our country illegally, they will protect you. If this lady will make it easy for you to do drugs and live on the streets. She'll make it easy for you. They already have. This is Oregon, man. Yeah, you get caught with some crystal meth, and they're going to give you $100 fine. Yeah, but don't have a Thanksgiving dinner. That doesn't make any damn sense. I don't see how people have not seen through this bullshit. Look, everybody should strive to be basically an average American citizen. Whatever that means. Whatever that means to you. These people are protecting the below average. The people who often are making the very choices that lead them to be below average. Or just criminal. That's who they protect. They don't protect the average. They don't protect the above average. They don't protect the people who work hard and achieve something. They protect the people who do nothing and take. The people who go in and just shoplift everything on a shelf. The people who just aggressively panhandle out on the streets to feed a drug or a drink habit. That's who they protect. That's who they protect. They're even willing to violate our civil liberties to give civil liberties to people who aren't supposed to be in the country. I get it. I don't want to kick people out. I want to keep people from entering, but I'm not a big like, hey, let's kick them all out. I don't have that kind of deep hatred or anything like that. But I'm not going to prioritize them over people who are working. People who drive, you get in your car and you fucking get into a long line of cars and drive to your fucking soul-sucking job. And the government's not going to protect you. They want to take as much from you as they can to give it to other people who took the easy way out. So, here's our boy Gavin right here. You know, non-essential gatherings must stop from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. You know, people go to work, you know, people got jobs, you know, but at the end, it gives it all away. Together, we can flatten the curve again. There shouldn't be a fucking again. We either just kind of roll through this, man, because we have to, because there's really no other solution. This shit isn't working. It's not working. No matter what we have tried, it's not working. And the fact remains, we're just going to have to plow through this. We should be worried more about just treating the people who get sick, figuring that out, racing towards this vaccine. Whatever. They wanted to demonstrate their control, and it didn't seem to do anything. So this is, you know, just kind of one that I'm just bringing up because I had a conversation with a liberal, and whatever. But this is the one that sort of explains it to me. That Trump got over 10 million more votes this time around, and he had increased support from communities that he didn't before, and he lost states that never should have been up in the air. I mean, it's hard to believe that Biden and his Legion of Doom wants to end fracking, and then in a place where they make a lot of money fracking, Pennsylvania votes for him. It's hard to see that. It's hard to see that. And like I said before, allowing people the lazy way out made this an invalid election as far as I'm concerned. We don't vote by mail. That's too important. You know, absentee ballots, don't even begin that. Because you have to go through a process. That takes time and it takes effort. So, that's not the state just randomly mailing out ballots. Just dropping them off. I'm not going to get into all the conspiracies, okay? This will have to sort itself out. I've got nothing really, I don't want to talk about it. But this is why. Because there are bits that sort of explain why some of us are confused and don't necessarily buy the outcome of this election. And it's very real. And unless people can acknowledge our confusion over this, then we'll never have unity. Okay? Because we're not trying to make up Russian collusion. We're hearing stories. We can imagine some of the things that they're talking about. People stealing ballots and filling them out? Why not? Look at the shit they do. Remember how we started the show? Prisoners were collecting unemployment checks. Earl Weber, I really hoped he had was going to win, but he didn't. But, this is one of the things that I worry about. So I read 84. That was a scary thing. I lived through the Cold War, and I've studied the World War II and the rise of the Nazis, their ideology, all that. And I see the correlation between them and what we now call fact checkers. It's a pretty name for somebody who is censoring and manipulating the news. The Ministry of Truth. I mean, that sounds really good. Public enlightenment. I mean, at least I think the Russians at least were the most honest about it. The Department of Agitation and Propaganda. The Department of Agitation and Propaganda. There you go. But that's a very interesting point, and I thought that was worth, mentioning. And, more things that were going to reap what we sow is, this whole idea that we need more social workers interacting with people out on the streets, criminals, situations like that, armed suspects, barricaded suspects, they're telling us to call the police on your neighbors for having people over for Thanksgiving dinner. And what's scary is, some people out there are young enough that they never lived through or heard necessarily a lot about like what we learned about like what went on in East Germany, where people were ratting out their families for conspiring against the communists or conspiring to get out of East Germany. And that kind of thing went on in World War II, also, where, people were ratting out their friends, and even family members, collaborating with the enemy, Jews, pointing out people who were on Hitler's hit list, the undesirables that he had. And that's what I feel like here. Like, you're imposing a draconian rule that is against what I believe is, our freedom. And you're, having the neighbors call the police on you. I mean, I don't understand this at all, because if I have 7 people over to my house, I'm not affecting the public. Where those people go next, maybe, yeah. But where they came from, too, it all balances out. We have to make our own decisions. I didn't go. It would have just been 5 people, but we didn't want to take the risk. Normally we spend 2 days over there. But, this time none. We just couldn't, too flipped out. My parents are worried that the vaccine's coming. And, they don't want to catch it right beforehand. I get that. Superstition. It's a sports type thing, we were talking earlier about this, and we're just going to touch on it. But, yeah, in Oregon, they're still smashing up buildings. I don't know if the world knows about this. I don't know if the mainstream media even covers this, but they're going after Thanksgiving now. I don't think they understand that if it wasn't for the colonization of America, some of these people that are complaining about it might not even be in this country. They might be in a better situation. They might be in a worse situation. I don't know. It really depends on where you come from. But, think about what you're actually saying, okay? All right? It was colonized. Get over it. So a lot of times people say that I'm not as balanced as I should be. And that was really in part because of the election and because I really thought that one side was clearly better than the other side. Clearly. Okay? It's not about me being a Trump boy. It's about ideology. It's more about the opposite side. I was more excited to stave off the Harris-Biden bullshit. But, I want to be fair. So I'm going to include a few from their side. A few gems that I found, And, I mean, I thought it would be a nice idea if, I let your, next president, give you a holiday greeting. So here you go. There, happy 4th of July from Joe Biden. Isn't that great? Yeah. It's funny until he takes office. But these were good, okay? Sometimes it's hard to let go. That's masterful. I'm a huge Lego fan, man. Since I've been a kid, I still got my own Lego set. Okay? I'm in my 50s and I still have my Lego set. So, and I play a crap ton of Minecraft. So there's something wrong with me, and I like Legos. There you go. Trump and his small desk. This one's great. My first presidency. They do it in Spanish. It comes with orange face paint, a border wall map, and his first impeachment. I mean, I don't know who made this one. This is just where I saw it, but that's some genius shit right there. I'm telling you, man. That's some genius shit. I give them credit. Sometimes they say that the left can't meme, but some of these are good. But anyhow, back to fighting socialism. Then if socialism doesn't work, why do people support it? Because they don't work either, son. And that's, And that's the way it works. I mean, the only people who want it are the people who don't want to work. And that's because people who work are going to have to pay for all the people who don't work. And even though we work, that doesn't mean we want to. I mean, obviously, I think I'd rather be sitting around making stupid ass videos. You know, that would be cool. I mean, come on. But anyhow, this one, nice shoes, Optimus. Thanks, Bumblebee. They're Vans. This is just, I don't know, man. I just came across this and I was just like, okay, that's too freaking funny, man. I got to put that in there. That's one of my favorites of all time. It's so clever and so stupid at the same time. It really is. I'm sick of these libs telling me I can't say Happy Honda Days because I might offend somebody who celebrates Toyotathon. So I guess I'm supposed to wish everyone a happy winter car sale. Oh, God. That's so subversive, man. That's the kind of thing that humbles you, you know? That literally just humbles me when I see that, because that's some funny shit. I mean, that's comedy gold right there, man. I mean, there's, you know, the subtlety of that joke. There you go. Blanco. Back in the fold right there, you know. Trump was trying to hold back a lot of this stuff. He was, okay? He was. I mean, a lot of this is the Democrats' platform. That shit on the other side. And there's Biden. He's going to smash it down. You know, if he, I just hope he does, at least I hope he keeps some of the good stuff. You know, some of the stuff that Trump did to help lower income areas, you know, moving the embassy to Jerusalem, some of the peace deals that he made, some of the trade deals that he renegotiated. You know, don't be blinded. You know, if you fucktards ultimately take the office, you know, don't burn America out of spite, okay? I mean, I get it. There's some things you're going to reverse. You're going to let the transgenders back in the military. Good. Yippee. All right. Just don't fuck up the really good stuff that he did. He did some good stuff, and you fucking know it. Platinum Pack, you know that stuff was good. You know the opportunity zones were good. You know that. Come on. So don't fuck that up, all right? The least you can do. You temper tantrum throwing little babies. I just put this in just because I don't know, man. This is another one that's just so funny to me. I don't really, to be honest with you, man, that's one of the things I'm very purple on. So it doesn't hurt. I don't think it's offensive in any way, one way or the other, but that is funny. I mean, it really shows you the power of, like, the word, like changing it to fending off. After fending off, I mean, that's some good humor right there. Another Bronco right here. This is one of my favorites, I guess you could say, because that's what's happened. I mean, where I live is a blue state. That's what has happened. I'm not going to speak for every other country, every other state, but I know what I saw here. I saw a jackass kill small business, kill dreams, and ultimately probably kill people. So anyhow, in my life, there was always Mr. J. And I wanted him to take me out, you know, for this show. So, happy Thanksgiving, you jive turkeys. Copious out.